All right, guys, we got a really cool one today. We got Bill Maher on the pod. This is a crazy one. Before we get into it, if you guys have not tried out the PrizePicks app, you guys need to download it and try it right now. I can't even watch a sporting event anymore without firing on PrizePicks. It just makes it so much more fun to watch. NHL Finals is here. NBA Finals is here. There's no better time to fire on PrizePicks. Also, this weekend, we got UFC, Sugar Sean versus Merab, the rematch. We're going to be at the fight. So we put together a special pick, the Nelk Boys community play. We put a lot of thought into this. You guys can actually go on the PrizePicks app and you guys can just click it and tail our play. So go to the PrizePicks app, tail our community play. Let's all ride it together. Also, boys, we got you guys on a special code NELK. If you plug that in and put in just $5, you're going to get $50 for free, no strings attached. So download the PrizePicks app, use code NELK, and get on there. Tail our UFC play. Let's all ride it this weekend. Let's go PrizePicks. Let's go Sugar Sean. Let's get into the pod.
Excuse my left.
Kyle,
How you doing?
Good.
What do you got there?
What?
This?
This?
Yeah.
This is our alcoholic drink. Happy Dad? Hard seltzer.
Wow.
You're a drinker, right? A little bit or no?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you got going there?
It's 4 o'clock, so I'm not drinking yet.
Okay.
But
No, I didn't know.
I save it for 5. I mean, I'm not a monster.
I mean, it's only an hour away. But yeah, no, we're
David Mamet is coming here to do my podcast.
Okay.
After I keep forgetting, I'm on your show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you ask the questions. I'm just going to sit here.
So what do you think? When does that change? What age does?
Well, it's everything.
Do you just stop giving a fuck?
It's just gradual, of course. Life is an evolution. It's not a revolution. 30 to I'm almost 70. That's 40 years. Yes, you'll go through. Each decade is you're a different person a little bit. Your friends will change somewhat. Hopefully you have some your whole life, but you change. I mean, a lot of people change marriages. And it's not their fault. People, you're not the same person at 40 as you were at 20. If you can still make that work with the same person, good. Or if you're faking it, that's your choice. But, you're not a bad person if you're like, Jesus Christ, I'm sorry I married you at 20. And now I'm just, I've heard people say this, not just the men, women even more saying they're married and they say that there are some days you just look over and go, who's this person in my bed?
Marriage is scary, bro. I mean,
I never got married. Look what you're talking to.
You've never been married once.
You didn't know that about me?
I didn't know that.
Wow. You don't know me at all.
I don't know you. Well, that's why I'm here to get to know you too.
No, but I mean, I talk about it on my show for 30 years.
Wow.
I mean, it comes up a lot. Do you know I smoke pot?
I do know that. Yeah. I heard you don't call it pot though. You call it cigarettes, right?
Oh, I used to joke here on the podcast that, because at first when I was doing it, I was a little nervous about it because there was talk that there were states maybe where it wasn't legal, where, they wouldn't show the podcast. But it turned out that their Brock was worse than their bite, and you could smoke, and it didn't seem to affect anything. But so I used to joke when I was the first, few months we did this, and I was kind of nervous. I would just be smoking the joint, and I'd be like, these clove cigarettes are fantastic. That's what people smoke when they're,
How many cloves you rip in a day?
Not a lot. People think I'm a huge pothead. I'm not a huge pothead. I'm a pothead. I'm a high functioning drug addict. I'm very proud of it. But I don't even smoke every day.
No.
I try to limit it as much as I can because the less you do, the better it works. I'd love to quit for a month, but that's not going to happen, Kyle. I've tried many times.
I think weed's just person to person too. Like I don't think it has any. Does it have any, serious health effects? Not really. Not like alcohol. It's
definitely not like alcohol.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't believe my hippie friends who talk about it like it's health food. I go by common sense a lot with health, and smoke in your lungs. You weren't born with smoke in your lungs. Is it better than cigarette smoke? Of course. And of course, you can even try to up the odds on that by smoking the cleanest weed you can find. But are you there on the farm when they pick it? I mean,
No.
Just because it says on the bottle or whatever? I mean, I'm lucky. I know some growers, so I grow it here. I don't personally, but
You got a couple plants out there?
I could show you when we walk out. Yeah.
You ever toss a little tobacco in the joint or no?
Never.
You're just clean straight weed.
Why would you take, you're you're saying, okay, this isn't the greatest thing for my health, but it's way better than cigarettes and alcohol. Why would you then make it into a cigarette?
We used to call it batch bowls when we used to rip bong. Like you put a little tobacco in and then you mix it with some green and it just gives you like a nasty head rush, and then you're also getting the high.
Tobacco actually affects your high.
Well, it gives you that instant head rush right away. So when you hit the bowl, you get the head rush first, and then it kind of simmers off, and then you get the high.
Yeah, that's another thing you're going to outgrow, Kyle.
Yeah.
You're not gonna,
I don't even smoke like that no more. I used to smoke morning, but it made me too lazy.
I used to we would take the whipped cream cans at the bar at the comedy clubs, and we would, if you bent back the nozzle, you'd get the gas, because
you guys were on some shit.
And then
the whipped cream can.
Yeah, the bartender would be pissed because then the whipped cream wouldn't come out because you robbed all the gas so you could get high. And that was a head rush, but it lasted 30 seconds. The idea that I would, at this point in my life, trade my health, because it can't be good to be, force breathing gas.
You got to outgrow the whipped cream.
For 30 seconds of a high, it was just a terrible bargain. But, like I say, you just, your cerebral cortex or whatever it is just still growing, especially men. Men just, one of the hardest things in society really is, no matter what age you live in, women just mature much, much sooner. Mm-hmm. And men, you literally, I think, need like a 40-year head start.
What do you mean?
I mean,
that sounded a bit, yeah.
If I would, hypothetically be going out with a 26-year-old, hypothetically, it would be the correct amount of time between us.
You'd need to be 66 to be the same maturity level?
Well, I'm 69, but, roughly, let's round down.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, you need a very, very, people are different, but to be as mature as they are, even in their mid-20s, yes, you need, that's my experience, that you need to be way, way, way older. I mean, I was not mature at all at 40.
Really?
Yeah, because I think a lot of times in what you're doing in our lives, all of us.
Do you think that potentially is the environment you're in? Or do you think all 40-year-old males would not be mature? I mean, you probably had a fucking playground, right?
I think what it is that you're always, in a sense, making up for the last era of your life. Now, I did not have a good social life when I was an adolescent. Mm-hmm. When you should be, kids are mostly having fun at college. They're known as party schools. I had none of that experience. I had a horrible time socially at school, college, and in high school I was very shy, and I had one girlfriend, and that was it the whole time. And so I was kind of making up for my fun years of adolescence that didn't go well. I think that happens a lot in our life. We're making up for something in the past. It can be something in childhood. People don't have great childhoods. Their parents fuck them up in some way, and they're always compensating for that in some way for late into life, sometimes their whole life.
Right.
So I think that's one reason why I was, socially not very mature at that age. I just still wanted to have fun. I mean, happens to women too. I've known women, I don't think I was personally involved with them, but who had kids young, and then they get to be 40, and they're like, shit,
I missed out.
I missed out. And they get mad at the husband sometimes. You robbed me of my youth, and I was raising your kids. Yeah, nobody put a gun to your head.
No.
But now they want their day in the sun, and they want to be fun and hot and out, and I get it. It's all how you handle it.
All right, guys, summer's here. You know me, if you've been following me, I'm always trying to stay in shape, trying to look my best while we're always traveling, partying. One of my little cheat codes that I always have in my fridge are Factor meals. What I love about Factor is they just have so many different meals on their site. You can choose your diet, you know, whether you want high protein. If you're even trying to bulk up, they have stuff that's like high carbs. What I love about it too is there's just so many different options. Last week I had this like protein jalapeno one. The food's actually really good too. It's not like a shitty gas station meal. It actually tastes really good. So if you're trying to get in shape this summer, I know cooking can be a lot. Meal prepping takes a lot of time too. Go to factor.com/nelk50. That's gonna get you 50% off your first order plus free shipping, which is an insane deal. So go on the site, put together your diet. There's fucking tariffs on tarps this summer. We got to be looking good with our shirts off, and Factor has you covered. Go to factor.com/nelk50, 50% off and free shipping. Shout out to Factor. What do you think the difference is, like dating when you started dating, caught that, or like going out and partying versus like now? What's the biggest differences, you think?
I'm not out that much, and I probably don't go to the places you go, but occasionally I do, because like I do like younger friends. I just do. I mean, a lot of my friends, certainly the ones I go out with, a lot are millennials.
You look fucking great for 60.
Oh, thanks. I owe it all to clean liquor, Kyle. I was at this party, listen to this. I was with somebody I know and her younger sister, who's like, very in the mix of Hollywood. And the Hollywood social scene is just a lot of trust fund kids and Nepo babies. That's who runs the nightlife. Okay. So we went to this party. I remember it was outside. It was a nice night. And, and I was looking for pot, or maybe I had pot. So somebody asked me for pot. That's what it was. And I was like, me? Why are you asking me? Don't you kids have any pot? Nobody had pot. And I was like, what the fuck? Nobody, you're 22 and nobody's, you know why? Because they all are high when they came in on something they swallowed.
Pop pills.
That's where the drug scene has gone.
Yeah.
You do it before you leave the house. They perfected, but they certainly make commercialized, made more easily to do, like microdosing of acid, microdosing of mushrooms.
Mushrooms is very, very big now.
Right.
Microdosing.
Right. So they're not smoking pot because they're on a bigger drug before they even left. And pot is sort of like, old school or something. Nevertheless, a lot of people seem to want it when I lit it up.
Yeah. Have you ever fucked with the mushroom chocolates or anything like that?
No, but I used to do mushrooms we didn't put them in anything. They were like fucking out of the ground. They were like disgusting dried buds that you found a way to eat it, but sometimes, it was like...
Tastes like shit.
Tastes like shit. And then sometimes you got a little queasy or even threw up. But, yeah, I remember that. I think the first time I did it, I put them in a tuna fish sandwich. That was not a good idea.
Tuna fish mushy sandwich?
Ugh. I seem to remember that, yes. And then you could put them in the blender. I remember doing that, or just fucking eat them. Once you're high and you want more, somebody's got the little bag, just eat it. You just eat the cap. That's what I mostly remember.
So you've tripped pretty hard?
Acid, nobody has done since like the 60s. Timothy Leary told me that. If he doesn't know, no one knows. He said it's a very hard thing to make in the lab. That Owsley guy who made the original batch that the Beatles did and everybody did, that was kind of the real LSD. And then by the time I think the first time I did it was I don't remember doing it in college. I don't think it was around. I did it like maybe in the 80s or something, and they said it was acid. It wasn't fucking acid. It was some bullshit that somebody put together that kind of got you high. It was a shitty trip. It was grungy. I remember I couldn't get out of my body for a whole day. Was it a trip? Not really. It was probably a bunch of strychnine and speed and some fucking thing that he put together, and they called it acid. And of course, there's no regulation. How the fuck do you know what acid is?
I just have no desire to try acid. I don't know.
But I think they probably have made something closer to it now. And I do know people swear by the microdosing of acid because they say it's not like you're tripping. It's just like you're very focused and you're in a great mood. And, I think they have really targeted somebody got the bright idea. We can make a lot of money just taking some of these drugs that people think are kind of like, oh, that's kind of a big investment to trip on acid. Am I really ready? And where am I going to do it? And am I going to jump up a building? And No, let's make it like a lot easier to do and not quite as severe. And I bet you we could make a lot of money, and I bet they do.
That's
Bet
the
it's
next
a
wave. Yeah, I think even the mushrooms. I wonder if those will ever get legalized, kind of like the way weed is now, because people are really doing those too. I just tried them. We had some Australian chicks that we went to Australia and we became listen good. We became friends with them in Australia, and then they came out to visit us for New Year's, and we like partied for 3 days straight, like normal partying. But then we were doing dry January, so we stopped the drinking after New Year's, and then we switched to only mushrooms for 3 days. So we did mushroom chocolates for like 3 days, and it feels like having like 6 drinks or something. Like especially when you're outside in the sun, and like I could see it being really big if it becomes
I think
legalized.
it is big. And but when you did it the way I did it, where you just really just ate it raw, at least for me, it was just you would just laugh at everything.
Yeah, you're just laughing.
The drug is like, I think, robbing all the serotonin. Is that it? Something like that. I'm not sure about
But
that.
you can feel like other people's energy on it too. Like if someone's like in a shitty mood, you can kind of like
Yes,
feel it
one
a little bit.
person
It's
can
like a
like can
psychological.
harsh your mellow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And it's also, I recall, bad coming down sometimes because you depleted your supply of whatever the chemical it is that makes you feel pretty good as a normal person walking around. You just robbed that.
Yeah.
You just took it all. So now you're just like, ugh, it's probably close to what people who are depressed feel like, who need,
Right.
I mean, for years they didn't treat depression with drugs, which was crazy because, psychiatrists, they were useless. It's not about that. These people just lack a certain amount of whatever the serotonin or whatever it is that makes the endorphins, which I call the
You think it's like a
dolphins.
chemical imbalance?
Of course it is. Well, not all depression, but much. They found, yes, people who went to shrinks for years and then they took one pill and like, oh, okay. So not exactly problem solved. And of course, there's lots of problems with the drugs themselves.
Yeah, don't a lot of people say that those drugs just kind of mask the problems and they don't actually?
Well, they can do that. They also can just like, yes, they'll take away your lows, but also your highs. So you're just kind of like existing, It probably takes away your libido. No, you're not depressed, but you might as well be because it's very hard to be on psychedelic drugs, psychotropic, whatever the word is, drugs, and find the exact right dosage and have it just be the good part and not the bad part. Of course, nowadays they just start kids way too early, way too much on drugs.
On
No
fucking
wonder the
Adderall?
kids are all on drugs because you put them on drugs. You horrible, horrible parents. Just, severe cases, yes, but, boys who are agitated, that's being a boy, okay? Once you start them on here, take a pill, you just created a drug addict for life. They'll just
Yeah.
switch the drug out for other ones.
Putting a kid on Adderall, it's like it's pretty
Yeah.
much legal meth, right? Like
It is. It's exactly what it
so
is.
stupid.
Of course, the kid's unhappy. Of course, he's a fucking kid.
Yeah.
I was mostly unhappy, not like fundamentally unhappy, and certainly not because there was anything really wrong in my life. I was fortunate. Just because I'm a control freak, that's my nature. You don't have any control when you're a kid. You're vulnerable. You're just everything you want is like far away. Like I didn't really want to be a kid when I was a kid. Adult shit looked good, and I was right.
You always wanted to grow up, right? Yeah.
I was right. It is better, adult stuff.
What's the best era for you? Like I'm 30 right now. Like, is this the best time, or when is the best
To me,
time you think?
it is now. I mean, even with being older, it's not like I can't do everything I always could do. So that's good.
So it just gets better and better and better.
Well, no. Then at some point you die. That's not better.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean,
Because I get to sit here, you're wise. I get to get fucking
yeah,
free weed
sure.
from you.
I mean, to me, I like it now because again, I just don't make stupid mistakes like I used to. I just don't do stupid things. I'm nicer. I have no competition with anybody. I've already won everything I wanted to win at. The few things I didn't, yeah, you can't get everything, and I'm totally at peace with that. And so I'm not like competitive with anybody. I don't have to prove anything. I could quit tomorrow and I'd be very happy with my legacy and everything I did. So that, I mean, that kind of peace of mind. I would say the thing, conversely, the thing that gnawed at me the most when I was exactly your age is, am I going to be a failure? That probably created more stress in my life than anything. Well, relationships, they cause a lot of stress. But that thought, oh my God, could I be like one of the losers in this game? Because that's the early 30s is when you start to see some of the guys you started out with in the comedy club starting to, get shows and stuff. And I'm like, oh shit, am I going to be like the comic who never like gets the next thing? That would suck. I'm not going to be a good failure. So like that was super stressful. And I don't have, you don't have any of that now. So you have like all the, and also I still love the job I do. I mean, this one is fun too, but my real job at Real Time, I mean, it's like, it's the best job in the world. And they keep hiring me to do it.
Yeah.
And,
you reach so many people.
I can do it, and I keep doing it better and better because you're just, you've been doing something a longer time. You just get better at it. That would be true of anything. If I played the piano for 30 years, I'd be better at it now.
Yeah.
So that's all the good part. The bad part is, you could much more likely, tomorrow I could have a heart attack than you.
Yeah.
That's the bad
that's
part.
Safe to say, yeah. So, it depends what I'm doing, though, at the same time, right?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Your stupidity.
No, I'm good.
You could definitely kill your heart with stupidity too.
Yeah.
Young people do it all the time.
Yeah.
I could have
a couple of my boys I got to watch over. I'm always.
I could have done
eye,
it
but
many times. I could have bought the farm with stupid drug tricks.
it's scary now with the drugs too, right? Yeah, there's a lot of shit in them.
Like fentanyl.
Yeah, the fentanyl shit.
How do you know it's not in the drugs you're doing?
You don't. Every fucking cocaine line is a lottery ticket, pretty much, right? I stay away from that, but yeah.
I am so glad I'm not doing those drugs anymore.
Yeah, I mean, cocaine's just fucking. It's everywhere. Every party you go to.
Really?
Oh, it's everywhere. Yeah.
I'm not sure that ever really changed because I think when you look at the...
they got liquid cocaine now.
What is that?
I was at a house here in LA, and it's a fucking nasal bottle, and it's liquid cocaine. It's like a vape instead of a cigarette. So instead of the stigma of going outside and smoking a cigarette,
right,
you're just vaping inside. Instead of going to the bathroom and having to try to find the handicap stall, you just have this liquid thing now, and that's what.
So that's what people are doing. Just like a vapor.
No, it's like the allergy medicine, like that. You
don't really want to stick something up your nose that somebody else stuck up their nose, do you?
I mean, fuck, people are desperate for cocaine, right? Probably.
Oh, they do.
When the bag runs out, they're probably gonna do it. Yeah, yeah.
Would you at least wipe off the nozzle?
I don't know. I haven't tried liquid cocaine, but I'm observing. I'm kind of past that stage a little bit, but yeah. I'm past the liquid cocaine stage.
Cocaine is, I think, always the one that's going to get you. I mean, obviously people die of other things, and heroin I don't know about, but it must be fantastic because people just do anything for it. I mean, I'll suck your dick is kind of like the middle name of every heroin addict. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure heroin is not a good thing to start because you'll just like it too much.
Yeah.
But cocaine, certainly everybody, or not everybody, but a lot of people like try it, experiment with it, at least do it once or something. And, it's the classic honeymoon drug. Like, at first it's like, wow, this is cool. And I don't need a lot of it. And it's just, it's a real
slope, right?
It's a real scam. Soon enough, you will be doing a little more. And then, you just don't want to get to that place where you're waking up in the morning and it's the first thing you do and you're chasing that high all day. Thank God I never got to that place.
No, that's crazy.
But people do. I mean, because cocaine has such diminishing returns. Like you could chart it like, the first time I needed one line and I was high for 4 hours. And, 6 months later, I need 40 lines and I'm high for 20 minutes. It's like that.
Yeah.
It's a great product because it incites you to get more of the product.
Yeah. All right, guys, I know you guys have heard me talk about the MoonPay app before, and honestly, I'm not going to stop. I just think MoonPay, honestly, is the best crypto app in the game by far. Pretty much every crypto provider you can think of, they use MoonPay, and that's how you can use your debit cards, your credit cards, Venmo, PayPal, literally every payment provider MoonPay uses. Something really cool that MoonPay just added is they're now working with Rally, which is a social crypto wallet that allows you to track, trade, and discover new NFTs and meme coins. You can follow your friends and top traders directly in the app, and you can receive real-time updates and start trading in less than a minute. Whether you're a new crypto user or an old crypto user, MoonPay is the best app in the game by far. So download MoonPay app. Stay tuned to our socials too, because every single week we're giving away $1,000 in crypto. All you got to do is DM us your wallet address, and you have a chance to win $1,000 every single Monday. Take advantage of that, guys. It's a free $1,000. Shout out to MoonPay, the best crypto app in the game. Let's get back into the pod. What was the best decade to party in, you think?
When you're young, whatever decade
But
that
like
is.
80s, 90s.
No, I'm saying whatever young, doesn't matter. There's people always partying, but it's a young man's game, young person's game.
So what was your favorite?
Like partying, like actually.
Like what era you were like?
I mean, I was
I
out of control, really. Not out of control, but sometimes.
You're out of control.
I'm just saying, I feel like I ran a little roughshod over this town from like, say, I don't know, not really the 80s. It was really older because like I had
90s.
money and more money and, you know, invited to more things. Like after I got politically incorrect started in 93, I used to go out a lot with my great friend Christopher Kid Reed from Kid and Play.
90s in LA was probably sick.
He was my, we were drinking buddies, and we were a bad influence on each other. I used to call him Ted for a while because I had a girlfriend who did not like him. You know, and he's the greatest guy in the world, but you know, it was like he was, you know,
What's his name? Ted?
No, his name is Chris, but I called him Ted because he was like Ted from the movie.
Okay.
You know, remember the movie Ted?
Yeah.
And you know, Mila Kunis does not want Mark Wahlberg to have his teddy bear because it's just leading him to, you know, they're going to go do stupid boy shit and drink too much. And Chris was kind of like Ted like that. And I was like, I'm not giving up my teddy bear. I'm sorry.
When you get that one friend, you just bounce off each other.
But yes, and we both liked our pot and liked our liquor. I mean, I drank too much. That was a stupid thing. I should have just done it on pot. But you know, you're young and your body takes it. You will party to the extent that your body lets you. That's the rule I've found in life. That's just the way it is. When your body lets you have 30 drinks a week, you will.
That's so true. And then you just shut down one day.
No, not shut down. Well, I mean, like when I was younger, I definitely got more colds, flu, that kind of shit, because I kept my body shittier. I had all that liquor to process, which is not good. So my body was compromised, and did not have the defenses. Nothing horrible happened, but yeah. You're smoking and drinking and partying and not getting enough sleep. Yeah, you're going to be and now much less, you know.
Do you have a crazy party story?
I'm sure I've got 1,000, but
you got to tell us one.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I did crazy things. I mean, I didn't like ever get up on the roof and jump into the pool. I mean, it wasn't like rock star shit, but
what was like the craziest party you've been to?
I had a couple of big ones here when I first got this.
Oh, you throw shakers?
No, not for 20 years. Yeah. But like when I live next door, you know that, right? So this property came available like a few years after I moved in, and it was a lot of room, and I wasn't actually living here. So I said, oh, great, let's throw a party. I mean, this room itself was one of the big parts, you know.
Yeah, I could see that.
This is a great party room because you can't destroy it. It's just so solid and ugly to begin with. Well, I made it beautiful with all the stuff on the walls and stuff, but I mean, it's just concrete and, you know, it is a down and dirty place. And that's perfect for a party with a bar and a pool table. And but I had people swarming all over this property. I mean, it was like an all day. And then, of course, LA people come way late and then don't leave when you want them to. they won't leave.
They don't get the fuck out in LA. I noticed that. And they also think, people in LA think they can just like walk into any part. It's like an open house
Really?
policy
You mean
compared to like Miami or something. Like,
if you're having a party and people just
house
see
parties.
it on the block, they'll just walk
Well,
in?
people hear about it now. Like people text each other,
Of
and it's like,
course.
yo, there's a party here, and it's
Right.
like if you don't let people in, they kind of get pissed because it's like I think LA is more like an open house policy.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would really not go for that.
Yeah, it sucks.
I would be in a bad place if I had to like be the one to deal with people who got mad at me if I didn't let it. Because like my recollection of like the two parties I threw is like, I think both times somebody let somebody in, or somebody got in who was like a real turd in the punch bowl. You know, after the party was over, I heard from like every girl, oh, you know, there's this asshole who was hitting on everybody. Like, in an obnoxious way. It's like, okay, who? This guy? Oh, I don't even know this guy.
Yeah.
So throwing parties
It's a liability.
it's
right?
a lot.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just think, hey, you know, I'll have some people over. It seems like nothing. And then it's like, well, there's got to be food and we have liquor and you have to have enough supplies. And is the toilet going to overflow? You know, and it's even a small party, it doesn't seem like a lot. It's a lot. And to throw a big party, I mean, you could buy a nice car for what like that party cost.
Right.
I had a lot of people.
I bet.
You know, and also if you're a party like that, you need people, just bartenders, and you know, it's a lot.
Are you into cars?
No.
No. What are you into? Anything like watches or like anything like that?
No, I'm not that materialistic.
What do you like to spend your money on?
I like having a lot of land.
Just buying land?
Well, land here.
How much land do you got here? Like how many grids?
I have a good spread here. It's not exactly the Ponderosa, but you could hold a hunt here if you combined all the spaces. Yeah, I'm not a materialistic person like that. I was robbed here, or at least ransacked, like last year, a break-in while I was out, and
at your house?
Yeah, right next where I live, next door, and you know, all the drawers were open, and you know what they took? Nothing, because there's nothing to take. They were looking for cash, I assume. You know, any like briefcase, anything they thought might have cash in it. But you know, we're not in the era anymore where people steal TVs. You know,
Yeah,
TVs, you could.
Yeah.
So what was, you know, they were looking for jewelry, which I really don't have.
Yeah.
You know, I have a watch. I mean, you know, I don't give a shit about stuff like that.
That's the scary thing about LA.
But nothing. They didn't take anything because they didn't find anything.
That's good.
Scorched earth policy. So they are robbers.
You've had to done something crazy.
But then I fucking went nuts making this place robber-proof.
Yeah.
I didn't even have an alarm, which
How did you go about that?
Oh, I can't tell you all the things, but I'm not going to give away our tricks. But we definitely, the alarm was the first thing, and then, yeah, I pitied a fool who tries to break in here now.
Yeah. There's a lot of like home robberies in LA, right?
Lots of they call it home invasion. Yes, we have a lot of home invasion.
One of my best friends got his car robbed too here. Like he just parked it, and when he came back, the car was gone. And then eventually he tracked it down 2 days later, and it was just completely torn apart. Like all the parts were gone and shit. Like that LA's getting a bit fucked with that.
Oh,
shit.
Totally. You live out here.
I live in Miami now.
Oh, Miami.
I lived here for like 7 years in LA.
Oh.
I'm from Toronto, Canada originally.
Oh.
But I came down here when our YouTube started getting big because this was the spot for YouTube and all the influencers. But we just moved to Miami about 1.5 years ago.
Well, I'm going to have to make a call and you will be deported because you're not an American and we do not like migrants anymore. So bye-bye.
I actually helped our mutual friend Trump a lot. I actually got shouted out in the inauguration speech. So
you're more of a friend. I would say we're acquainted now.
You're good friends with Dana, though, right?
I am not good friends.
No.
I'm good friends with Kid Rock.
Kid Rock.
He's my friend. Dana White sat there. We did the podcast. That was nice. I like Dana. I like everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. Doesn't mean I agree with everybody or, you know, go so far as to like, I mean, here's a funny story. So before we went to the White House, like a week before, Bob, Kid Rock, texted me and he said, he showed me this picture of like it's like a vintage guitar or something. And he said like, hey, I found this guitar. What do you think we get this and give it to POTUS as a gift? And I texted back, Bob, I'm not at the gift giving level yet. Okay. Let's see how the first date goes. Okay. So I think it's important that we all talk to each other. And I want to talk to people. And I think anyone who thinks it would have been the smart thing not to go to the White House when you're invited by the President of the United States to have an intimate dinner and talk to him is absolutely fucking nuts.
Yeah.
And I am super glad I went. And I have said to the right wingers, you know, I took a lot of shit from the left for doing it. Always stood my ground, went right back to criticizing Trump exactly how I would have had we never met. You know, I kept my honor, but I definitely think we should talk. And could I become friends with anyone? Yes, but it never happens. Not friends. Friends happens over time.
Yeah. But you can also be friends with someone, I guess, and not agree with them politically.
Totally friendly. But
Yeah.
friends is something different.
Yeah, but Trump had to have cracked you up behind the scenes.
Both,
Yeah,
both ways. I think
he's
he really,
fucking hilarious.
I think he really enjoyed having somebody there.
Yeah,
who was funny and did make him laugh.
you guys were probably spitting back and forth.
Yeah, the whole time. And you know, I mean, the left got very mad at me for reporting exactly, honestly, the way it happened, and I kept saying. Did you see what I said about it? Did you see?
I saw it.
Okay. So like I kept saying, you know, I'm just tell you what happened. I'm the messenger here. I'm just telling you. This is information for you to deal with. And of course, for a lot of people, it's the old line from the great movie, you can't handle the truth. They just couldn't handle the truth.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I mean,
I think you gained a lot of respect by doing that.
Totally.
I mean, anyone that thinks you shouldn't have fucking discourse is just...
It's crazy.
Yeah.
First of all, the left has no power. And you're still not going to talk to them?
Right.
That's crazy. It's like, talk about misjudging your leverage. You don't control anything. Yeah. And your method is you're going to run into the room screaming? I mean, this is like high school lunch table thing.
Uh-huh.
You know.
But you wouldn't have probably met with him in his last term, right? So there had to be some sort of shit. You would have?
Well, I mean...
But there's been a shift, obviously, right?
Anytime the President of the United States ever invites me to the White House for a private dinner,
you're going.
I'll go. The first term, I mean, one reason why this made sense to a degree was it's sort of what they call a Nixon in China thing. Now, that refers to when Nixon went to China to open up China, communist China. People after that always called it a Nixon to China thing because it meant Nixon had been so hard on communism that it made sense for him he had the credibility to go to China and open it up because he was the last person they thought was weak on communism. Same with me and Trump. I had been so critical for so long, I think all with the facts on my side, that it made sense. And of course, the night before the dinner, he shit tweeted a bunch of
right? Yeah.
It was hysterical. It was perfect. I was so glad it made it in character. You know, the stupid Bill Maher's coming. Kid Rock thought it was a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea. It was great. And then of course he was completely different when I was there, and he is very different. And I know that bothers people, but it's just the truth. And but it made sense for me. And you know. One of my prized possessions right now is I brought him that sheet of paper where I printed count them, 56 different insulting things he said about me. And of course he signed it without question.
He probably loved it. Yeah.
I mean, he certainly did it with no hesitation. I said, will you sign this?
Yeah.
And it's just the funniest, greatest fucking memento in the world.
Where do you got that at?
It's hanging in my living room.
Yeah. You frame it?
Totally. Of course.
Yeah.
Actually, I had a facsimile made, because you can't tell the difference, and framed it. The real one I keep in a safe.
Yeah. Away from the robbers.
Away from this house.
Yeah.
Just a safe.
Really?
Yeah.
Just way away.
Yeah. I have nothing here. I mean, maybe that would be, something that people would want to steal. I don't know. I don't think it'll be worth that much money, but it's worth a lot to me. And it's just funny.
All right, guys, also really quick, fullsend.com, we just restocked it with brand new UFC full send shit. You guys love this shit. We just got a ton of new designs. I have them all in my closet. They're so clean, so fresh. We revamped the entire quality too. A little more heavyweight, a little more thick. You guys have been loving it. Also, we're gonna be at the fight this weekend. Obviously, we're cheering on our boy Sugar Sean. If you guys are at the arena, pop by the merch areas, cop some UFC full send shit. Trust me, when you're in the arena, everyone's rocking this shit. I think full send UFC is outselling every single other UFC collab, which is sick. So guys, go to fullsend.com, grab something, rep the send. I love these UFC full send shirts. I fucking live in them. Let's get back in the pod.
Where do you think like the left lost people? I think it was with the transgender shit.
Well, it's all that kind of stuff. Now, I know your audience, we can talk about this all day and they'll think, oh, great. But, just put it in perspective. I think the right is even worse because they don't respect the rule of law anymore, and they certainly don't respect democracy. Whether we will ever really have another election, we don't know. The fact that when a Republican wins the White House, life goes on the next day. It's fine. It's perfect. No problem. If a Democrat wins, they just go ape shit and make up a lot of shit about how it wasn't a real fair election, which is all just fucking made up. And you guys and you kids who think that that's all cool, you should own that and do a little more research.
That was just the Biden one, though, right? I personally saw no evidence that it was rigged, but yeah.
It was not. Many people studied it, including Republicans. It was thrown out of court like 60 times. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that's where the bros are. But why that happened, I completely understand. Because to your point about transgender, it's not just transgender. The far left, what we call the woke, they seem to embrace every sort of like obviously, aggressively anti-common sense thing. So that people, like regular normal people, a lot of them don't follow politics that closely, but they go, these people just seem to be so deliberately counterintuitive to common sense. Mm-hmm. Like, you really want to put this hulking trans woman, but obviously looks like a very large man on the woman against women swimming and things like that. And they just go,
fucking absurd.
I can't let people who have this worm in their brain, whatever that worm is. Bobby Kennedy's not the only one with a worm in his brain. I just can't let those people take over this country. And I totally get that. It's one reason that the right does not hate me, even though I call them out on their shit just as much and never stop calling Trump out on his shit. Because I recognize the craziness on the other side too, and I call them out on their shit just as much. It's just that if I had to balance the two, the left shit, yes, is still less fundamentally, existentially threatening. And it actually affects way
less. The left just got too, like the woke shit got too far. You know what I mean?
And it is bad. And it has affected lots of people. Just not as much as if we never really have an election again. And a lot of the other stuff.
What do you mean by that?
Like I just said.
There'll be no more. What do you mean there's no more elections?
When a Democrat loses, like Kamala, like Hillary, they go away. They understand there's a winner and a loser in elections. You think if Trump lost this last one, he would have just accepted it?
Probably not, yeah.
Right.
I don't think that's a right issue. I think that's just a Trump issue.
Trump is...
Like if J.D. Vance loses, if he runs next year, he'll probably shake hands and move on like a gentleman. But it's Trump.
That's possible.
That's what you get.
That's possible. But Trump is the right now.
Yeah.
So
but I think that's just a Trump issue. That's just what you get.
That's a very sanguine way to look at it. That's possible. I'm not going to say that's not possible, but expecting a very rosy future based on that may not be.
Kamala was pretty, let's say, respectful, obviously, like the way she handled it, but let's say it was like that Ilhan Omar girl that ran or something.
Well, she's not going to be the...
Or AOC. I bet I could see them saying it was rigged too or something, or having like a bit of a hissy fit. Ilhan Omar would not accept the
Well,
results.
Ilhan Omar is not going to be the Democratic nominee for president.
But I'm saying there's different people in each parties that might throw a little bit of a fuss if they don't win.
A little bit of a fuss is different than what they have done,
Yeah.
what they tried to do in 2020. And by the way, he knows that.
Well, it's Trump. He's a different type of guy, right?
The private guy knows that.
Yeah.
All right, I got to do my other show.
Awesome. Well, this is awesome having you. I appreciate it. It's good
fun,
sitting
dude.
down with you and just getting
Absolutely.
the free knowledge and wisdom.
Basketball injury, so
good
that's
problem.
what I'm gonna.
Oh, basketball injury. You balling?
Yeah, you know.
How'd you injure it?
You know,
Just a jam fit. Oh,
the pros are
weird.
always, yeah, because then it's like it's funny. It doesn't hurt, but it's got that. Unless you put
know.
the splint on, it's going to be like that for like life.
yeah.
It's the tendon.
That's the worst injury.
It's the worst because I can't play.
Oh, true.
Actually, I was out there yesterday just playing lefty.
Damn.
It's tough.
Just passing and shit.
No, I was just
A couple left-hand layups.
working on. I can shoot like a short hook shot lefty, and I can of course shoot a lefty layup. You can always make a positive out of a negative. If I come out of this like better with going to my left, which I should, with all the training I'd be putting in, then I'm going to look on the bright side.
That's a great way to end it.
All right.
Thank
man.
you, Bill. We appreciate
Pleasure.
you. Awesome.
Thank you for having me on.
That was awesome.